But listen, I want to get back to running because I'm obsessed with. I see your videos. Not you don't do them as much anymore, but your posts about running.
Yeah,
and it's like you and Casey Neistat were the only people that I know that like really loved it.
Yeah, I mean, so the first time I did anything kind of like in the ultra space was my brother was like, let's do the rim to rim to rim in the Grand Canyon. He had already done it a couple times. And that's when you go from the South Rim up to the North Rim, back to the South Rim in a day. And depending on which trail you take, it's either like 42 or 46 miles with 11,000 feet of elevation gain and loss.
When do you leave? When do you go back to New York?
Wednesday, next Tuesday. Do
you want to do a run this weekend?
Where is it?
Griffith Park.
Yeah.
Griffith Park. It's Oh, yeah. I'm gonna set you up. I think I'm gonna do the 13, the half marathon.
Okay.
But there's a marathon in Griffin Park, and the elevation changes.
I mean, it's crazy. Like the when I did that, it's really hard.
So when you run, I'm sorry.
And this wasn't necessarily a run either. Like you jog parts of it, but like there's ultra marathoners who train there who are running past you. So as badass as you think you might be doing for doing this, there's people that are passing you and you're like, well, I'm just a piece of shit.
So did you train for it? Or obviously
I'm always kind of in good enough shape.
Yeah.
It just depends. Like if I were actually to train for it, I could have been in better shape. Like the 50, I did a 50-mile race and I actually trained for that. And I was in like, I think really decent enough shape where I wasn't sore the next week.
Oh, do you notice a difference in your body?
Yeah. I mean, like anytime I'm running really long distances, I can feel like I actually feel like I lose muscle. But really? That like, I'm just like thinner, but then I'll go back to doing like Pilates and stuff like that and get the muscles back. And cause like when you're doing any of that long distance stuff, I don't try to run it for speed. I just try to finish. And a lot of that is that you're burning fat and muscle rather than, you have nothing left to burn.
Yeah.
So like, it just feels like you kind of like deteriorate a little bit.
So when you do the rim to rim to rim,
mm-hmm.
you are starting and you go all the way to the bottom.
You start at the South Rim. You go all the way to the bottom, you cross the river, and between the river and the bottom of the South Rim and where you start the ascent to the North Rim is 7 miles. The Grand Canyon is like, we all know it's big.
Wait, are you about to tell me how big the Grand Canyon is?
The thing it's 7 miles.
7 miles is that's more than...
It's so long.
Yeah.
I would have been like, it's 2 miles wide, maybe.
I thought it was 100 yards.
Yeah,
I was like
it's a football field.
Yeah, I literally was about to go, was there a bridge?
Yeah. You cross a bridge and then you go for like 7 more miles.
God dang.
And it winds through in a way that like, it kind of looks, those old Nintendo racing games where it like would just like repeat the course,
Yeah.
And so you go up, you get to the North Rim, you go up to the top of that. You stop, you have like a sandwich. You go back down and then you're going back through this winding through the canyon. And I remember this is when I knew I was going to love ultra stuff. I got to this point where I was so angry and determined that I was like, oh, I've never been in this mental space before. Like, I was every turn you went around, I expected to see the next bridge and it wasn't there. And I was just like, I was so mad. Like, I was like, I'm going to finish this and I'm going to kill somebody, like you just get into this like crazy mental space where you're like, I hate this, but I'm not going to let it stop me.
God damn it. I don't have that.
I think you could.
When I start a race, I don't know what it is, but it's like, it's the same thing I started comedy with, where I was like, when I started comedy, I was like, yeah, we'll see how this turns. I think if I just show up to the clubs every day, it's going to work out.
Right.
And that's how I started a marathon. Like we did a 5K the other morning, my family for Thanksgiving. And Isla's like, I can't do this. And I said to Isla, I go, all you have to think is I'm going to put this foot in front of the other foot and shuffle my feet for like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I go, you think you can shuffle your feet for 30 minutes? And she goes, yeah, definitely. I go, that's all you got to think.
Yeah.
Don't think past that and you'll be fine.
Yeah.
And that, when I did the marathon, I said, that's it. And so I just said to myself, all you got to do is keep putting one foot in front of the other. That's it. And for some reason, I didn't think of what was ahead of me. I just thought of where I was at the moment. I was really in the moment, and I love that being in the moment.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I like that part of it too, where I had someone tell me once, she was like, when I was first starting to get into ultra stuff, that's exactly what she said. She's like, don't think about the distance. Just think about one foot in front of the other.
I'm certain, by the way, someone will call me out on this. I'm certain that I have heard this on a podcast and it wasn't my own thought, but that's where my head was when I started the marathon. Marathon for me was so painful.
Yeah.
It was, I didn't train for it, obviously, at all.
Right.
And so, which was maybe a misstep. I think I might have broken my body. I woke up the next day and I couldn't use my legs.
Really?
I couldn't use them. I was like, I got stuck on the toilet. I couldn't get off the toilet.
Yeah.
I mean, I told someone parts of my inside of my asshole hurt. Like, I didn't know I had muscles in there, but I used them apparently.
Yeah.
I can't imagine an ultra.
Well, there's the one time I did I've done the rim to rim twice now. And the second time I did it, I was like, it's just one bad day. It's going to be one day that hurts really bad.
Okay, that's it. That's the mentality of of just saying, it's not going to kill me.
Yeah. It's one bad day.
Just one bad day.
One really shitty day. It's going to suck and you're going to hate it. It's one shitty day.
Yeah.
And then towards the end, you're like, why do I do this? Like, this is so dumb. Like, there's no point to this. And then you finish and you're like, I do it again.
Yeah.
You know, I do know why I do it, but like,
why?
I like to prove I can do it. Like, they all do that stuff. So I'm like the least, because they all live out in like Arizona or Colorado and they, that's what they do. And so like I come out there and I'm just like, well, I just can't give up in front of them, because I know they can all do it. Like they're annoying and they get to train every day.
So what gear wise do you like? How does that work out? Like, one of my favorite things I've ever said in comedy was at the start of the LA Marathon, just going, looking at people and saying, I'm doing all the things that I know you're not supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, I didn't train, which is true. And they were like, shut up. And I was like, no, I just got brand new shoes and I'm ready to run. And they're like, you got brand new shoes? And I was like, is that bad? And they're like, oh yeah. I was like, I'm not wearing underwear. And they're like, wait, what? And I was like, just all the things that you wouldn't do. But how do you, I know you gotta get a backpack full of water.
Yeah, so you go, and I don't love road races. I like to be on the trails. I don't like to be around that many people when I run.
Hey, please write down to call JV and then air biting. You made me think of a joke when you watch triathlons and you go like, when I was a child and I was doing it, my dad goes, the fuck are you doing? And I was like, in my head, I'm like, I think I'm making out with these people on TV. But I also air bite. Like if I make you something and I go, I go like this, and my daughters will go, can you please not eat along with me?
Yeah.
And so, but you don't like road race? I love road racing. I love the energy of a road race.
See, I'm the exact opposite. I don't like being around that because I was so competitive with track.
You don't like being around people? Michelle, do you know what I did on this 5K? I just would, every time this 5K setup was okay. I mean, it's not my favorite setup.
Yeah.
I don't like back and forth. I like out and around, right? And this one was set up in a crucifix. So you went down the street, took a left, turned around, came back, down the street, came back, down the street, came back. And every time you got
perfect for Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Every time I got around where people were, congregating, where they were taking their turns, I would yell, I'm in the best shape of my adult life. And people would start cheering me like I was some rescue. I was like, oh, good. But I love the energy of a road race. I love getting there. I love, because there's a weird community where all of a sudden everyone's doing the same thing. Like they're like, hey, you ready?
My problem, I'm too competitive. I have to be by myself, so I'm not trying to compete with other people.
Oh, there is a part of me that if I see, I'm sorry for what I'm about to say, but if I see a fat chick in front of me, I'm like, that's not going to happen. And I blow past her.
My favorite thing in the world is when I pass a man. My least favorite thing in the world is when a woman passes me. It says so much about my personality.
I am identical. I feel bad when I pass a handicapped person. There was this fucking champion. I have to give him credit that ran the LA Marathon, who had to have complete cerebral palsy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this dude fucking ran it, and he ran it with his dad, whose dad was just some Mexican guy, completely overweight, but his son wanted to run the fucking marathon. He's like, I'm doing it with him. And they would run and walk.
Aww.
And I was neck and neck with these motherfuckers. They passed me probably 26 times. I passed them 27. I was not going to lose to this kid.
I see that all the time. I'm like, there's no way that person's in better shape than me.
I say that the whole marathon. I was like, how the fuck is this woman like 200 pounds? Did she start in front of me? Like, and then when the best is my favorite part of the LA Marathon, we're running on Sepulveda. I don't even like driving on Sepulveda. We're running on Sepulveda. I hate Sepulveda. Anyone who lives in LA fucking hates Sepulveda. We're running on Sepulveda, and a grown woman, a network executive type woman, grown woman, shits her pants in front of me. And I went, it just got real.
Oh my God. What was her reaction?
It went down one leg, up her butt cheek. It went down and up. It looked like a Band-Aid. I watched it grow, and I went, huh? And she stopped and went over to the fucking, on Sepulveda, I think we took a left on probably Santa Monica. You run to the ocean from there.
Mm-hmm.
As we took a left, people were falling like zombies. She shit her pants and went over to the curb and sat down. And I was like, oh my God. And all I thought is, don't cough. I bet that's how she shit her pants.
Yeah.
And everyone's calves start. That's the moment where I realized.
Is this an uphill? I don't know these roads.
No, there's only uphill really in that race. Is my buddy JV has this great thing. I'm telling you, my buddy JV is a big runner.
Yeah.
But he's doing the Griffith Park thing this weekend. But the elevation was pretty tame on that. The only uphills were really at the very beginning in downtown LA.
Yeah.
And I just said to myself, just shuffle, get through.
Well, the world record until it was just broken in Chicago. The women's world record in the marathon was broken in Chicago. But before that, Paula Radcliffe had it, and she shit her pants when she got the world record.
What do you mean they were like?
She stopped. She didn't shit her pants, actually. She stopped by the side of the road, took a shit.
Oh, I thought they were like, she crossed finish line, like, you broke the world record, and she shit her pants.
No.
Oh my God.
During the race, she stopped, took a shit, kept going, broke the world record.
Dude, the funniest part of that fucking marathon is mile 1 at the bathrooms, the line of people that have to take shits.
So long.
And I'm like, you didn't do this at home?
Yeah.
You didn't plan this like a colonoscopy? Like, I didn't need anything.
No, there's all these people like, I'm going to fuel. And you're like, no, you're going to poop.
Yeah, you're out of your fucking mind. I went up there with my finger and pulled stuff out. That's so crazy.
But it's a lot of when women, this is probably too much female information, but which I'm sure your listeners enjoy. Is a lot when you're running, a lot of those muscles that like hold your bladder and stuff like that. If you're working hard enough, they will let go, and you will.
That's
pee
right.
yourself.
You don't have a dick.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny. Can I tell you, I didn't piss once during the LA Marathon.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I didn't piss once. I was like,
you're probably very dehydrated.
I was very dehydrated. I was very, very dehydrated. It was the best is I told people I was doing it, and so fans would come out and be like on the roads, and they're like, and I was Instagram storying it, and they're like, the machine. I'd be like, what? And he's like, ice cold Gatorade, brother. And I was like, I fucking love you. And they were like lined up, and then one guy's got one. And he goes, bottle of water, and I was like, oh, thank you. It's vodka. And I was like, are you out of your fucking mind?
Yeah, not now.
I was like, meet me at the end, dickhead.
There is I really do like a nice cold beer after a long run. That's like
cold beer. I had my wife pull over at a convenience store and get me a Foster's Tall Boy. I had the solar tarp on me.
Uh-huh.
My daughters are in the background. My daughter's in the back. I was really angry at the way that because they all met me. They watched me finish. I finished. I get in the car and I'm ready to talk about my experience. And my daughters just change the subject and start talking about something else. Like, hold on. Just so you know, we're going to be here for a while. Like, Dad's going to be talking about this for the whole car ride. No one say a fucking word about any topic unless you're talking about what a champion. But my daughters just changed the subject very quick. And they're like, hey, what are we doing later today? And I was like, later? Let's talk about what just happened. It's interesting you don't like road races. I'm going to sign. My buddy is doing this grip and I'm going to sign up to do the half marathon. I've never done a trail.
I like trails. I like it. And it's also, anytime I'm on a trail, especially if you're doing an ultra, kind of like one of the rules is like, you're allowed to walk up the hills, like not allowed. I mean, you're allowed to do whatever you want, but like, that's like what a lot of people do. Or, I mean, the crazy ones will run up the hills. Like there's people that are like, they do these ultras faster than I can do like a regular marathon. It's crazy. I mean, like Jim Walmsley he's a super great ultra marathoner. He'll do the rim to rim to rim. I think his record's like just over 6 hours, which means he's running 8-minute miles in the canyon or under 8-minute miles in the canyon. I've done it in 18 hours. Like he's flying downhill. He's flying uphill. He's like, it's unbelievable.
Do you get scared of snakes and stuff?
No, I don't. I mean,
I used to run in the hills up in Runyon and by myself, I used to love it, especially when you're in good shape. There's no better feeling. You really feel alive. Yeah. But then I remember one day going, what if I stepped on a rattlesnake? I was like, that would be pretty devastating. You
definitely see it before. We've come across rattlesnakes and you almost always see it before you come up to it. But I've been trying to work on a bit about this. As much as people love bits about running, but like I'll be running, on any trail and they always have signs. It's like beware of mountain lions. And I'm like, why are you telling me? I don't have any new skills. Now that you told me that the mountain lions what am I supposed to do? Like, okay, I'll be prepared. I can't fight a lion.
And by the way, they're not in front of you. They come up behind you and hunt you.
They're going to pounce on me. I'd rather be surprised.
Yeah.
Like there was one day I was running, I was doing Wise Guys in Salt Lake and I went on this trail and I was like, okay, first of all, I'm pretty sure this is where what's her name was taken into the Elizabeth Smart. I was like, this is the woods. These are the woods she was held in. There was people running by her all the time. She was just held. And I was like, and that's when I decided I'd much rather get attacked by a man than a mountain lion because I have at least a little bit of a shot against a man, like a mountain lion. Just don't even tell me. Why are you telling me he's there?
That's so
and you're not
funny.
listing any things you can do to fight mountain lions.
No.
You're just like, there might be mountain lions.
There might be mountain lions. Hey, just so you know, you might have AIDS.
Yeah.